Well, good morning, Saints. Guess what? Time for another walk down to the river. Down a couple minutes of contemplating what God is doing in this crazy world of ours. And so starting out here at the Haug House, we're going to go for a walk. And hey, thanks for coming along. Appreciate sharing these times with you. Appreciate you commenting on it and just letting me know that sometimes something that was said, usually by God, not by me, just got to you and helped make this a better day. That's what this is all about. Just trying to share the joy that I'm finding in these days and make sure that you enjoy these days as well. Looking at the world around us and all of the changes, and as we head down to the river, I think that's one thing I like about the river, is that it's in constant change. And always brings newness. If there's something you don't like, just wait a couple minutes, it'll float by, and something else will be there. The other thing I love about the rivers, and I've seen this all around the world, is rivers are the place of life. It's always along the rivers that humanity has established our greatest cities, because in the river is life. If you are ever looking for some wildlife, including here on the Otonabee River, if you're ever looking for wildlife, just go near some water. Dawn and I have gone up and down this river many, many times, and of course, between all the fish that we've seen, which you don't see anywhere else but in the water, of course, but besides all the fish, there's always bird life, and there go a couple ducks swimming by. The duck just behind that tree over there. There's always life down here, and on top of that, we've seen deer as well, and turtles and all sorts of stuff. So rivers are a place of life, and so I love coming down here in the morning and contemplating change and contemplating life. And of course, Romans calls us to look at creation and in it see the handiwork of our God. Well, I got a thought for you today. It really struck me that with all this change that's going on, my experiences and my education in culture shock is actually helping me make it through this time. You see, culture is defined as the norms of any people group or society. Now, those norms, and therefore that culture, would include language, customs, habits, foods, clothing. It's everything that a people group considers normal. That's what makes it your culture. And that's why when you move to another culture, or even if you go on a short-term trip somewhere, you go to another culture, you find new norms, a normal way of doing things that's different from yours. And often that time of change, that season of change is very difficult. And that difficulty, that shock, that anxiety, that frustration is called culture shock. Now, culture shock has a couple different stages. Let me give these to you real quick. And hopefully this will help you understand what you're going through today as we're trying to figure out what our new normal is. Really, we are going through culture shock right now as a society, as a people group. We are going through culture shock because everything that was normal is no longer normal. And there's been so much change that we need to learn how to adapt. So, culture shock. First step is honeymoon stage. And this is where, when you go somewhere new, everything is exciting because it's all different. It's like, wow, this is different. This is cool. This is, and you're trying to learn those couple of forward words in Spanish. You're trying to learn that little bit of Ukrainian or Russian or Swahili or whatever group you're going to, and a little bit of excitement in it. Well, right now, I think for all of us, this COVID-19, the excitement's over. The honeymoon stage is over. When it first started out, kids are out of school. Of course, the kids were excited. People were being asked to stay at home, and there were some people who were glad to not have to go to work. There was a little bit of excitement for Donna setting up a home office. Everything was different, and it was a little bit exciting, let's be honest. And I think that stage ended pretty quickly. Now, in culture shock, of course, different people, different places, different situations. That stage will go longer or shorter, but I think for most of us, that stage ended pretty quickly. And the second stage in culture shock is called frustration. And that's where just every little thing is annoying. where it's like, why do I have to do this? And if you're going overseas somewhere, all of a sudden you realize that, hey, public transportation is annoying. Not having water, that's annoying. Oh, you mean we have to do it that way? Oh, that's annoying. If you ever go to Ukraine and find out that you have to have, 6 locks on the back of your double metal doors, boy, that's annoying every time you go into the house or get out of the house. Little things. And so right now, a lot of us are in that frustration stage where things are just annoying, and the littlest things can annoy us. After the frustration stage comes the adjustment stage, where you begin to understand what the new normal is and how to make it happen. And this is where, if you were overseas somewhere, you would start learning that, okay, this is how I take the public transportation, or this is how I get my documents, or this is how I get fuel for my vehicle, or whatever the thing is. Like, everything's a little bit different, but you're learning to adjust and you're starting to fit in. And hopefully for some of us, this COVID-19 shock that's hit us is you're starting to learn, you're starting to adapt, you're starting to adjust to what the new normal is. And then comes the final stage, which is the adjustment, where you have adjusted to this. I hope this stage here, I hope this COVID-19 doesn't last long enough for us to all adjust. But that is the goal in culture shock. And so let me encourage you that one of the greatest ways for you to adjust in a new culture, and maybe adjust in this new culture of ours, this new normal that we're living in, is to begin to look for the good. Begin to look for where you fit in and what difference you can make. And so, friends, I want to encourage you from the Word of God to, with thanksgiving, bring your petitions to God. And that's what it's going to take for you to adjust to this new normal. Start looking for the good. Start looking where you fit in. Start looking for where you can make a difference. And so when you go overseas, that's what makes the difference for you to adjust. Yeah, everything's different. Yeah, some things are frustrating. But you know what? I have found my niche. I've found where I belong. I have found where I can make a difference and how I can make a difference. And all of a sudden, I realize that I belong in this new normal. And so, friends, please, with thanksgiving, look for the good. Look where you belong. Look where you can make a difference in this new normal. And together, let's make it through this. Let's adjust well. And let's be a blessing in this time. I pray that God will bless you today. If you want, feel free to reach out to friends. Please reach out to me if you have any issues, any needs. We as a church would love to help you. I'll give you my cell number. Of course, I'm not checking the office phone. I know people are, but I'll give you my cell number. I know that's kind of risky here, but 705-313-2801. 705-313-2801. If you just want to talk, just want to reach out, I'll be glad to talk to you, all right? Church on the Hill. All of our services, of course, have gone online, and we invite you to go to the YouTube page, and that is just Church on the Hill Cobourg. You get onto YouTube, just search Church on the Hill Cobourg, and you'll find us there, and we're updating this stuff all the time, so feel free to jump on there and stay in touch with us. But also, if you are a regular attender at Church on the Hill Cobourg, would you please consider continuing to support us? I know that some number of people have lost their jobs and their source of income, and we are believing with you for better days ahead. And like I said, if you need any help, please reach out. We're going to do what we can. But also, for those of you who have not had any financial setback, I want to let you know that the church continues to have its expenses, continues to support our missionaries overseas, continues to support local missions as well. There's a lot of ministries that we're involved in. And so those commitments we would like to continue to honor. And we're going to need you to help us do that, all right? So God bless you each one. Have a wonderful Friday. And remember, we're going to get through this. Let's learn to adjust by giving thanks. God bless you each one.